Hi, and welcome to the Health Begins with Mom show. I am Dorit, your host. On this podcast, I will share insights and interviews on health, parenting, and explore the question of what does it take to thrive as women, wives, and mothers. Now, let's get going with today's episode. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Health Begins with Mom show. This is Dorit, your host. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you for sharing your most valued resource with me, which is your time. I know that as a busy parent, as a busy mom, you have a million other things you could do instead of being here with me. So if you are here, thank you. I really appreciate it. I want you to know that it matters. It matters a lot. And if you're listening to the show, it means that you are learning how to prioritize yourself, how to choose yourself. So if you're new to me or to the show, this is where we talk about the intersection between your health as a woman, your sacred work at home as a wife and mother, and how to tap into your life's work as a healer and creative in a way that feels aligned, authentic, and most importantly, joyful, and like you're having fun. Like I always say, I believe that all mothers are healers, and we can absolutely make the world a better place, but we have to begin with us. We really have to start prioritizing ourselves and putting ourselves first. And this is why this show is called Health Begins with Mom. So, like on last episode, if you're listening on real time, I promised that I will have the registration link ready to sign up and register for my webinar. I haven't done a webinar in a while, so I'm super pumped for this one. My goal is to have a webinar on different topics run at least once a month. So we'll see how I will do with that. But for now, I do have a link. The topic is going to be all about how to heal from anxiety, overwhelm, burnout, stress. For now, the title is The 5 Secrets to Stop Feeling Anxious and Overwhelmed in Your Mom Life. And I wanted to read what I have here on the registration page. So it goes like this. Are you tired of being a stressed, angry, anxious, and overwhelmed mom? When people ask you, how are you? What do you say? Do you say, I'm good, thanks? I'm great. I'm fine. Let's be honest here, okay? You are not fine. You are exhausted, burnt out, tired, lacking energy, overweight, feeling like you've lost yourself, and you're scared. Your soul is aching and your body is starting to manifest worrisome symptoms. You wake up in the middle of the night and you think about your long to-do list. You barely sleep. You worry a lot. You don't have time for yourself. You yell at the kids and you feel bad about it. Sometimes you secretly wish to disappear just for a day or two. You're always doing and achieving. You're hoping to feel appreciated, but you seldom are. In general, you feel unhappy, unsatisfied, and in search of joy, vibrancy, and fun. You're hoping nothing bad will happen, but something deep inside you says that if you don't change, something bad will happen, like really bad. I have good news for you. I've designed a webinar for you to help you understand what is going on and what is going on for you physically, and most importantly, how to change in a way that feels possible in your demanding and busy mom life. I understand how it is to prioritize yourself. It might seem like it's impossible for you to do. So the webinar is called The 5 Secrets to Stop Feeling Anxious and Overwhelmed in Your Mom Life. And I've designed this webinar for you if you are tired of being tired, if you feel on the verge of a nervous breakdown, if you're not proud of who you've become as a woman, as a wife, as a mother, if you're depressed most of the time, you're just unhappy, you don't feel like you're joyful like you used to be, if you don't have any motivation to do stuff other than taking care of logistics in your day, if you feel like you have an identity crisis, like you no longer recognize yourself, like you look in the mirror and you don't know who you are, but you are done suffering and struggling and you're ready to thrive. You want to lead your children to become more of who they are. You're willing to understand yourself physically, emotionally, and mentally much more, and perhaps try something new. You want to be the mother that maybe you never had. So this is your opportunity. I'm going to leave you with the link. So I've created a simple link that you can remember, but I'm also going to make sure to link for the webinar in the show notes below this episode. So you are welcome to check it on my website as well. But the easy to remember link is my website, www.healthbeginswithmom.com/anxiety-webinar. So if you, like me, don't know how to spell anxiety, it's ANXIETY and then -webinar. All right, this is the link. You will go to this page. You will scroll below. You will put your first name, your email address, and then you will pick the time that works best for you. So the date for the webinar is March the 19th. It's a Tuesday, and I've created 2 time slots, and we will have the same lesson, the same webinar. I've created 2 time slots because I know that a lot of my followers are all over the world, and maybe the time zone is an issue. So there's going to be one that, and also for women who work during the day, I've created an option for later at night. So we will have 2 sessions. The first session will be at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the other session will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And it's going to be the same lesson. You're welcome to join both lessons if you wish. And yeah, so on that page you will go and you will put your first name, your email address, and then you will pick the time that works for you, and then click register to the webinar. And that's it. That's all you have to do, and I'll send you reminders and all of that good stuff. All right, on to today's episode. So today's podcast, I called it Ladies, We Need to Stop Doing This. And I think I'm going to add right now some exclamation marks. So today's show might sound like a rant or like I am maybe too intense, but this is who I am. This is how I am, so I don't care. The reason I do this is because we have to talk about this topic. If I don't talk about this, I'm just not being of service to you, or more importantly, to your kids. So think about it this way. I do this for your kids who are watching you and who deserve to have a mom who shows them how to choose herself always, who has a strong sense of self, who is centered, who is confident, who is educated, and who is embodied. That is what all of us want for our kids, don't we? I know that I do. So this is what I'm going to do for you and for your kids. So here's a little background story for you, just so you don't think I'm totally crazy. All right, so yesterday I went to a women's event locally, and at the end of the event, as everybody were going home, this lady approached me and she complimented me that I look great and that I've lost weight. And I've spoke about this a couple of episodes ago. I don't like this compliment. So right there, I was already edgy. But I looked at her and I thanked her for her compliment. And then the obvious question, she asks me, "How did you do it?" And I was like, "Honey, do you want the long truth or the short fluff? What do you want?" So she giggled a bit, and then she said, obviously, I want the truth. So I told her the truth. And this is what I said. And I like, imagine me, like, if you've seen me in person, you know that I am a pretty intense person. I have a strong personality, and this is just who I am. Okay, I've for years tried to not be who I am. It didn't work. It didn't serve me. It didn't serve my family. It didn't serve my kids. And so, like, as I share my answer with you, imagine me just being fully embodied in who I am and how I am, all right, in my fullest energy. So this is what I said. I said, I choose myself first. I come before my kids, before my husband, or anybody who needs something from me, or at least that I think that they need from me. I wake up an hour earlier than everybody else, and I take care of myself. I take a shower, I take care of my skin, I take care of my hair, I put light makeup on, I meditate, I write in my journal, and I drink half a liter of water with a green powder to help balance my hormones. And only then I do some home stuff. So I unload the dishwasher, I pack lunches, I serve breakfast, etc., etc. I spend $200 a month on memberships to yoga and a boot camp studio. To me, this is a fixed cost, just like an electricity bill, a gas bill, or a water bill. This is not a cost I can remove or not have. I have it because I need it to feel good and show up in my life the way that I want to for myself and for my family. I end my workday at 3 p.m. twice a week so I can have enough time to prepare fresh, homemade food that will nourish and satisfy me. I make an effort and push myself even when I don't feel like it. Even when I don't have the time, I make it happen. I work around my schedule. I ask myself, how can I make it happen? Instead, I can't, or it's too hard, or I'm too busy, or I don't have time for this, right? Because we can all fall into these excuses and into these realizations, right? And these justifications. So she was surprised, and obviously that's just a fraction of the truth. But at this point, I kind of stopped and looked at her, and she was surprised. And quite frankly, I think she was unprepared for this long and intense answer. And I think she was waiting for, the quick fix kind of answer, like, oh, I found this really effective pill that you pop into your mouth and it makes you shrink. So no, that is not me. I am the deep, long route kind of girl. I don't believe in shortcuts or quick fixes. So I think I scared her a bit. But like I said, I don't care. She had to hear the truth. And you have to hear this truth as well. So here it is. The reason you are unhealthy or not feeling good in your body is that you don't value health. I'm going to say it again. You don't value health. It is just not a priority for you. If you don't value it, then your brain will find all the excuses in the world to justify it and mediate the discomfort or the dissonance that you feel in accordance. And we women do this all the time, right? We bitch and we complain to each other about how hard it is to exercise, how hard it is to eat healthy, how hard it is to go to the gym, to move our bodies, to go outside, spend time outdoors as a way to get approval and external understanding, right? It's like we need to see that other women are suffering and struggling with the same things just to feel good about our own discomfort. Right? Here too, we look outside of ourselves for permission to be. So some of the excuses that I have heard over the years, and I mean, there are so many more than, but these are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head. Some of them are pretty lame. Honestly, quite honestly, I have to say they're lame. So there are things like, I don't know any gyms. So I would say, really? Google it. Or others would say, oh, I don't exercise because I don't like to exercise alone. Girl, have you ever heard of group classes? Come on, man. And then other excuses are actually legit, but again, it depends who you ask, right? So some women tell me, I don't have time to be healthy. It's just my work, my kids, my entire time is just consumed with life. And then they say, I have so many responsibilities, my husband, my kids, my mom, my dad, my sister, my whoever. And it doesn't matter, guys. I don't say these things from a place of, lack of empathy or sympathy. I understand. I'm in the trenches just the way you are. I am a mom. I'm a wife. I have 3 kids. I'm a working mom. I'm building a business. My kids go to school. I have my parents. I have my in-laws. I have siblings. I have a life. I have friends. Everybody's life. We all have things. So it's really a matter of, what are you choosing to focus on? What do you value? So for me, my husband and I, this is one of our top values. And in alignment with that, we take actions to support that value. All right? Others tell me, I can't afford to go to the gym, or I can't afford health coaching. I really, really need it, but I just can't. It's not a reality for me. So, to that, I have to say, you do have the money and you can afford it. You're just choosing to put this money somewhere else where you somewhere else that you prioritize more than your health. Okay? And again, I say this and this message is geared to the woman that is working, that is not on welfare or, extreme cases like that. I assume that you are leading a life that is quote unquote normal. I hate this word. Or maybe balanced. You go to work, you come back, you take care of your kids, you cook dinner maybe. This message is for the woman who is maybe pretty much like me, who has life that maybe, if you kind of like become more resourceful and more creative with your money and time, then all of a sudden things are possible for you. So when it comes to money, like I said, it's just that you're choosing to put it somewhere else. And I say this without judgment, but think about it. You work, you earn money, you might not have disposable income or a lot of it, but when you need, something, you make things work, right? Let's be honest. I think about my parents and how they've been complaining to me for years that they didn't have the money to travel and how they wish to travel more. And then, out of the blue, my mom decided to renovate the kitchen and spent $6,000 on renovations. And I was kind of puzzled. I asked Mom, Mom, where is the money from? And she said, oh, I took a line of credit. And I'm not encouraging you guys to get, to get into debt, but here is an example of someone who complains that they can't afford something, and yet when there's something that she really, really wanted, she made it happen, right? So where did this money come from? And it shows you that we do have the money. So I prioritize health And maybe you, for example, something I can think of, maybe you prioritize your kids' extracurricular activities, right? And again, no judgment. So personally for me, at the moment, my kids have 0 extracurricular activities. After school, we come straight home and we do things at home, right? And I'm totally okay with that. And that money that I could have spent for my kids' extracurricular activities, I put somewhere else, right? So it's really, like I said, it's about being resourceful and kind of like moving things around, even when you are on a tight budget. So look, I am not a rich person. My husband and I both work, and some months are tougher than others. But like I said, we value health, and as a result, we use our money to support that goal. I hear women say to me all the time, Dorit, you don't understand. My circumstances are really different. My husband works like a dog. He's not around to help out. My kids are so lazy and uninvolved. All they want is to be on the screen all day. I am a maid. I can't possibly take a break and focus on myself. If I do this, my house will literally fall apart. All right. This is another very legit justification. I'm not going to say excuse. I'm going to say justification that, again, I understand. So look, I'm going to give it to you straight here since I'm on a roll here. Life is tough. Okay? It's tough. This is just the way it is. If it was easy, believe me, trust me, you would be bored or depressed. This is not going to change anytime soon. But I want you to know that you have control over your life. It's not the other way around. It's not that your life, whatever it is, controls you. You control your life. And how do you do that? By taking a decision. And then after you decide that something is important, that something matters, that something requires a change, then you take the appropriate action to support that endeavor or whatever it could be. All right? So, for example, you are sick and tired of having lazy kids, then get help. Get them involved in the house, doing some house chores. Give them a sense of responsibility and belonging in the house. This is better for you and also for them. And believe me, guys, I've struggled with this for years. I've also felt like a maid. I remember when I've worked with my coach, the first exercise she got me to do was to take a piece of paper and write down a list of the 5 most important things in my life. And so my list was, I can't even remember, but I remember 100%. My first was family, money, business, community, and something else. And she asked me, okay, and where are you on this list? And I was like, what do you mean? I'm everywhere. And she's like, no. In order for you to feel really good in your life, in order for you to feel really successful in all areas of your life, you have to be on that list. All right? And so I've realized then that it's almost like it was almost like I was given the permission by somebody external who I've chosen to work with, who told me that this is wrong, that I had to put myself on my list. I have to put myself, not only I have to put myself, I have to be the first on that list. And that got me to face a very harsh reality that was true back then, which was that I have made my entire household to depend fully on me. So if I were to be removed to do the things that I want to do, so let's say go, to exercise or to do yoga or to even build my business, right? In order to build a business, you need time. I couldn't do that because I have laundry, I have to clean the house, I have to cook, I have to keep my, my kids tidy, I have to do this, I have to do that. Everything depended on me, and it had to be done my way or the highway, right? I was such a control freak, and I've shared this here on the podcast many times that I am still a recovering neat freak and a clean freak, right? I needed my house to be really, really clean. And the problem with that was that because of my burnout and stress levels, that was where I could find the most meaning in my life. And it was sad. It was so sad. It was so unsatisfying. It was so uninspiring, so unmotivated. And it led me to burnout and to extreme sadness. And I deep inside felt like I am not living up to my fullest potential, like I'm not being used in the way that I want to. And so that led me to really tap into how can I change things and become really resourceful with who I am and how I run my house and my life and my house. And that led me to slowly, it was really, really slow. I'm still changing, I'm still shifting, but it took me these small incremental changes in terms of my mindset and the way I do things to really switch. So for example, let's say we eat and, there's dinner. I would be the one needing to be, to clean up everything, and so put the dishes away, and then right away after that they have to be put in the dishwasher, and then everything has to be wiped down, and I have to sweep the floor and tuck the chairs in, and so everything had to be super uber neat, right? And according to my way. And then slowly I had to ask myself, is it really necessary? Like, what would happen if things are done differently, right? Is this serving me? Is this serving my family? Is this giving me more time, or am I busying myself just so that I don't have to think, or just so that I don't have to face, things on a deeper level? Another example, I have trained my husband to kind of like, especially not so much now, but in the beginning when we were just starting our family, we kind of had this agreement that he is going to take care of the money making, and because he had his own business, and I will be popping kids out and taking care of the house. So essentially I took all the home chores, all the household responsibilities upon myself. And what happened was that when I decided that I wanted to build something of my own, to create something of my own, what happened was that I still, I needed time to put into building my business, but I still had to do the home stuff. So essentially, and obviously taking care of the kids and all that. So essentially I had to have almost two shifts. So I had to work more. And the reason was because I had taught him that he is responsible for this part and I'm responsible for all of this. And when I eventually started to change my mindset around, no, I need help, I need him to help me, there was a lot of resistance, especially when I started to ask him, like, honey, I need you to help me. I need you, for example, at least a couple of days a week, you to be the one to load the dishwasher, to load or unload the dishwasher, or you to be the one around, putting the kids to bed so that I can have extra hours to do my things. And he resisted. He really didn't like it. And, we had to kind of work together, and there was a lot of talking that had to be done so that we can feel like, we both feel good in this arrangement. But really, essentially, it was me. I was the one who needed to change. I was the one who had to decide that this is what I want. And in order for me to get what I want, I need to show up differently. I need to change some things. I need to be enrolling my family members into my health mission. I need to be asking more for help. Maybe I need to outsource some of the household cleaning, some of the housekeeping. And if we can't afford that, then how can I? And so that led me to realizing that, oh my gosh, our oldest kids are 9 and 7. They're old enough. I remember when I was 7, I could clean my entire house, including the toilet bowls. I could do that. I remember I've done it. And so I had to realize that they're old enough to help me around the house. They can do laundry. They can unload and load the dishwasher. They can sweep the floors. They can even change the toddler's diapers. Like, they could do all of this stuff. I don't have to be the only one doing all this. And so there was, it really took me, I think, a period of maybe 2 years to just kind of like rewire my brain around thinking differently. And so this is what I'm inviting you to do as well, right? I'm not saying that this is going to be easy. Hell no. They will resist you. Your family members, they will resist you. They will fight you. But you have to keep going. You must stay with it, right? This is what choosing yourself first means. So like I said, I deliberately and intentionally train my girls to help me around the house. And actually, this is above homework. This is about homework. I believe that their responsibilities at home outweigh their responsibilities at school. Home is above school because this is where they live. This is where they hang out. This is their home base, literally, right? I want them to grow up feeling like they are responsible for whatever happens around here, okay? And this means that I can tell them to clean up after dinner so that I can go to the gym. So that means that if I need them to load or unload the dishwasher or the laundry, so that I can have an hour or 2 extra hours to accommodate a client who needs a late coaching hour, I can do that because I have set up the support around me, right? So no more excuses around, I am the only one who has to do all this stuff, right? Don't give me that excuse that you have to clean up after dinner and because of that you missed your gym class. I've heard this way too many times, right? And by the way, if your kids are still young, to help, like I said, like I shared my own story, get your hubby to do it. And if he can't, then maybe if you can afford it financially, if it works with your budget, maybe think about how you can hire help. Or maybe you can get a teenager to help you, maybe you can figure out some bartering solution. I don't know. It's really about being resourceful and thinking outside of the box here, right? Bottom line here is that you have to stick with it. You have to be really consistent with this stuff. If you're not consistent, then the message you're sending out there, the message you're sending to your family or out into the world is that you don't matter. You don't feel like you're worthy. You don't feel like you deserve the whatever this change is going to allow you to do. It's just that is the message. And so in order for you to be congruent with your messaging, with your intention and intention into the world, this is the action that you must take. All right? So I know that all of this feels like a fight, but remember, You are fighting for yourself. And it matters. You matter. Your time matters. Your health matters. Your dreams matters. Your dream matter. Your mood matters. And your levels of happiness matter too. All of this matters. So remember, you're not a victim. You are not disabled. You are not, you're not cursed. Somebody said, I feel cursed. You're not cursed to have a tough life. It really all begins with you deciding to choose yourself. Okay? The only reason that you feel like you are last on your list is because you are the one who is perpetuating this again and again and again, day in and day out. So it's your thought pattern that leads you to take the action to support this belief. Because you believe that you don't matter, your life seems impossible and it feels difficult. And this might be the reason that if you're raising a teenager, it could be a reason why they talk back to you. Or how do you say it right? They talk back at you because teenagers are like authenticity detectors. They smell lies, right? And this is the beauty of this age. So don't run away from it. Don't just shush them. I remember I have a teenage sister. We've done this a lot. Instead, take this as an opportunity to look within and see where are you expecting them to do what you yourself don't do. I'm going to repeat that. Take this as an opportunity to look within and see where are you expecting them to do or to show up the way you yourself don't. Do you expect them to stop eating junk, but you still buy cookies and sweets every time you stop for groceries? Do you overeat? Do you expect them not to be glued to the screen, but spend enormous time in front of it at work and then at home in front of the TV or social media? Right? We have to be honest with ourselves and not to expect others to do the things that we ourselves don't do. So I know all of this is hard. I know it's hard to look within and pace yourself, but this is what you have to do to feel good in your body and stay vibrant, healthy, and joyful. And I believe that you have what it takes to shift and turn your life around. I've seen so many of my clients do this, and I've done this myself as well, and you can do this too. So this is my very long answer to the lady who've asked me how I did it. This is how I did it, and I still do. Like, it's not over for me. I still do this every single day. Every day, sometimes every day feels like a battle. Every day I don't feel like it, but I do it anyways, right? Because I prioritize it and I value health. So enough with the excuses, enough with the procrastination, enough with the lies. You have to take responsibility for yourself. No one can do this for you, my love. It is your life. Being stressed, being tired, exhausted, and burned out, and feeling like crap, this is a choice, and it can stop if you decide to do so. Speaking of which, I'm reminding you about the webinar that I'm going to run, especially around this topic. So go register to the webinar I'm hosting in a couple of weeks, and it's all going to be about this topic, all about stress, burnout, exhaustion. I will teach you how to take care of yourself, starting with the basics, and the basics matter. They matter the most because they are your foundation. I will teach you how to support the 3 pillars of your health as a woman. We're going to talk about your nervous system, about your hormones, and the digestive system. And all 3 of these systems, they work together. And you need to know how to take care of yourself so that you can keep showing up in your life the way you want to. So again, the link to register to the webinar is www.healthbeginswithmom.com/anxiety-webinar. And I'll also make sure to have a link to that in the show notes below this episode. So go there and register. And I look forward to seeing you. You will have the opportunity to ask me questions and interact with me on the webinar. And it's going to be a lot of useful stuff and also fun, right? I want this to be fun for you, so you actually learn things, but also have a great time. All right, my love, I'm sending you off with much, much love and a lot of healing, and I'll catch you next time. Bye for now. Thank you for listening to the Health Begins with Mom show. I love hearing from you, so please post your comments and questions over at healthbeginswithmom.com/podcast. If you love the show, please share it on social media and in your real life with other moms who might enjoy this content. And if you have a burning question or topic you'd like me to hit on the show, just drop me a line at Dorit at healthbeginswithmom.com. And if you love this show and really want to support it, please go to iTunes, write a review, and subscribe. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll catch you next time. Much love and many blessings.